Hello, welcome to Diva's Paradise, a wonderful world of fashion, beauty, and lifestyle. I'm your host, Diva, also known as Alicia Charmaine, and today we're going to talk about traveling with your makeup kit, be it to a destination wedding, to a destination event, or maybe you're doing a job somewhere that requires travel and you really want to focus on condensing your kit. Alright, so this last week I was able to attend class where the masters teach. It was a 5-day hands-on makeup class or education experience for makeup artists, featuring at least 20 of the biggest names in the beauty industry. Examples: Sam Fine, Reggie Wells, Alex Box. We had classes that covered vintage beauty, which was with Michelle Corsi. You hear the ambulance. Michelle Corsi, Chris Malone, as well as Jessica Padilla. I had color correction with Jesse Powers. We spoke with Gregory Ault, Patty Dubroff, Stephen Demick, Rochar. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, Alex Box, for goodness sake. But that's going to be a separate video, so definitely subscribe so you don't miss that. Let me tell you about what I bought. Now, actually, when you registered for the I'm going to class, it gave you a recommended list of items that you could bring as a makeup artist, you know, just so you wouldn't forget things. But I also knew, as a makeup artist who does travel a lot, that there were certain things in my mind that I knew I would use all the time, and how I can best condense my kit by using products that were multi-purpose. So let's get right into the video, because everybody, when they saw me, is like, "That's all you bought?" I'm like, yeah, that's all I bought. I didn't feel like schlepping a whole lot of things. So first and foremost, I rely heavily on these Zucca clear top pouches. For my kit, I had a total of 2. So these 2 were the only 2 pouches that I walked with. Then I have 1 pouch that I have for my personal makeup, but we're not going to talk about my personal makeup. We're going to talk about what I bought for my kit. So primarily my makeup kit consisted of these 2 pouches, and then the remaining were clear Ziploc bags, just so I could keep an idea of what I was bringing with me. The key to all of this is getting products that can multi-purpose and multitask. You don't have to bring so many things. So let's first start off with what I bought as far as liquids went. For liquids, my foundations were Face Atelier Pro, and these come in these sizes. This is the size. I had shades that I could use on darker complexions as well as lighter complexions. I have a total, I'm going to dump them out of this Ziploc all together. Oops, sorry. I have a total of, see, I have these separated. There are 5 shades for my women of color or people with deeper complexions. And I'll just show it to you all at once so my video is not so long. So there are 5 of them. One of them is called Heat. This is like a color adjuster. So if I'm finding the foundation too ashy, I can always adjust it and warm it up. And then the other remaining 4 shades I have is Zero. Zero can add more depth to the shade if I feel it's too light and it needs to go a little bit darker. That's Zero plus plus, actually Zero plus plus. And then the other shades I have is 10, 11, and 12. So these are those 3 shades I have. These are what I use for my women of color or people who need a bit more pigment. Then for my lighter complexion people, these are the ones that I use. I have 0 plus, 2, 3, 5, and 7. I intentionally skip numbers because I'm very good at mixing and matching to get the correct shades. So there are these. So there's a total of 10 of them. Now the good thing with these are the size is just 20 mLs. And you know, when you travel your liquids bag, you can't have liquids that exceed 3 ml. So these are only 20 mLs. They all fit into a Ziploc bag. So if I had to, and then I have these 2 which are like shimmers. One is like a pearl shimmer and one is like a golden shimmer. So this is 0 minus and this is number 2. Actually, what am I saying? 0 minus is like a white. So I can use it to lighten up the foundation. I can use the white, sorry. This actually is the shimmer shade, and this is like a nice pearlescent golden shade. It's number 2. And along with those liquids is a Makeup Forever Lift Concealer. I have numbers 1 through 5. So all of this, sorry about that, asthma acting up. All of this goes into my liquids Ziploc bag, all right? Okay, so that's that. Then the second liquids bag, which is very minute, and I have TSA pre-check, is this one. It includes everything that I would need to get that skin fresh and hydrated, or to remove makeup, or to correct any makeup boo-boos. So first we'll start with the Bioderma. The Bioderma is the small size. I can't remember what's the mLs on here. 100 mLs. So you can't have liquids, creams, or gels that exceed 100 mLs, and this is 100 mLs. So the travel size of that, sorry, Embryolisse moisturizer, which I love. This is just 50 mLs or 1 fluid ounce. Okay, Embryolisse. Then I have a little bottle of Josie Maran Argan Oil. Okay, if I want to put a little add oomph to the hydration in the skin. I have the Magnolia Makeup Eyeliner. This can change any shadow, powder, or pigment into a liner, or let it go on in the liquid phase. Then I have Makeup Forever Mist and Fix. This is, I'm sorry guys, I'm not wearing my eyeglasses. This is a 25 ml bottle. And then last but not least, my Mario Badescu that I love to death, and I mist the face with this prior to applying the Embryolisse. And I don't know what size this is, but you can pretty much have an idea. You know, these are all tiny size items, and you know, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful when it comes to traveling. You don't have to schlep so many things. And pretty much that concludes it for the liquids. Just 2 little small Ziplocs, which if you can get them all into a quart size bag, technically that's what you're supposed to have. 1 quart size bag, and just fill everything into that bag. Then let's move on. Then I have a Ziploc with clear pencils. This primarily is eyes and lips, okay? I don't want to make the video too long. Then I have another Ziploc that has powder puffs and sponges and such. And these are my brushes that need to be washed, because I usually separate my dirties. Then I walked with 2 of my Cassetti pouches. Now this is like this on cover because I have some brushes that I need to wash. So I usually take the lid off and use it for dirties when I'm working. So I have 2 canisters full of brushes. One is personal, one is for the kit. Okay, moving along. Then in another container I have a few loose powders. So Ben Nye Topaz, not Topaz, sorry, Ben Nye Olive, Ben Nye Banana. And then I have in my foundation segment of my kit, I also have powders. So the powders that I would use, I have a Makeup Forever stack, okay, that I got from Makeup Forever. I also have 1 extra one for lighter complexions. All of this is in my complexion pouch. I call this my complexion pouch because this has everything that I need to start the makeup. So if I open that up, the powders in there that you just saw, and I have some of the RCMA colorless powder. Also in here I have another extra set of sponges. These are from Alcone. I have Q-tips, another beauty blender that needs to be washed. Then I have the mascara would go in here, and then some concealer from Makeup Forever, 2 concealer palettes. This also goes in this pouch, as well as Cocoa Care lip balm to keep those lips hydrated, and some Wet n Wild black gel liner. Okay, and then foundations are also in this kit because it's what I need to get this face done. You've seen me do a review for this. This is my Cassetti Infinite Makeup. So really the only 2 foundations I bring, depending on what it is I want to do, is going to be the Face Atelier Ultra Pro, or it's going to be the Cassetti, which is a cream formula. So either I use a liquid or I use a cream. Depends on my mood, how I'm feeling, and the effect that I'd like to achieve. Then for powders, I have 2 powder palettes. Both of them are from Ben Nye. One is called Mojave and one is called Bella. Bella is for people of lighter complexion. Oh God, one of the powders is broken. Okay, so you can see that. That's Bella. I have to clean out this thing now. Some of the powder break up in there. But I think it was actually broken before I left. I knew about it, but I totally forgot. So now I gotta clean that out. The second palette is the Mojave palette. That is for my deeper complexions. I love these because it does include banana and some other shades. in there. I can't remember how much I paid for this, but I love it. Each of these palettes have a total of 8 powders. So you can either use your brush. I would usually use it for shoots. I don't necessarily need to use a puff because I like skin to look fresh and have a slight dewiness to it. So if anything, I would hit the hot spots or the shiny spots with a powder puff, a fluffy brush, and just dusting the areas that are of concern for me. So that is the first pouch, which now I have to clean up because there's broken powder in there. Okay, so I'll show you all of that. And then the second pouch has my colors now. So we're opening this up. So in here you're going to find multi-purpose, my Becca Shadow Palette. I never thought I would really like this palette, but I do because it is such a great multi-purpose item. Do you see that? This is not the red one. This is the Becca, the natural one. Ombre Nude. Ombre Nude. One of the must-have palettes that I would suggest for anybody who is traveling. These shades are so versatile. I can use it on the lids. I can use it to fill in brows. I can use it to contour the face. I can use it to do just about everything. So I love this. I love products that are multi-purpose. Then here's my lipstick palette. I put a little sticker on the back with the listing of the lipsticks that's in here. Most of these are Makeup Forever Rouge Artist Intense. And these are all of the shades, okay? So, you know, usually I can mix and match to make a shade, or I can just work with these shades that's in here. As for cheeks, I have a little, sorry, I have a little cheapy palette that I've got from the beauty supply store. I know I showed this to you guys. I might have got this at Jenny Beauty in Dallas and probably $4.99 or so. These colors are really pigmented, so they serve me well. I did break the lid, so this is why I use a rubber band to keep it on. But it has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 shades in there. And I call it multi-purpose. It gets a job done. Great for shoots. Then, the eyeshadow palettes that I bought. And overwhelmingly, I noticed a lot of artists who were there at the I'm Going to Class hands-on class. Everybody seemed to have the same shadows. Well, same brand. They might have different palettes, but they have the same. And I can guarantee you, everybody and their mother had this neutral palette from Vizart. Okay, this is the Neutral Mattes, which is number 01. I love this palette. Just about every artist I can tell you had this palette. This is like the basics. Okay, I have a little bit of that on, but that's for a different video. So I have the Neutral Mattes. I have the Dark Mattes. I can show you what that looks like. And if I remember correctly, Fancy Face has swatches of these. So these are the Dark Mattes. Okay, then I have the Editorial Brights, which I like because you never know. You might decide you need a look that's not quite neutral. So this has every color, you know. If I can't make the colors out of this, and these 3 are matte, then I have one palette, which is Sultry Muse, and it consists of shades that have shine and sheen to it. Now I like these because they are not particularly frosty, and they leave a great sheen on the lid. I tell you, Anastasia has to be one of my favorites. Again, you can visit Fancy Face's page and you'll see that she has swatches of the Vizart. Hands down, best shadows. I love them. Yes, I have my Makeup Forever, but you know what? Travel-wise, because I had the 30th anniversary palette and I'd have to depot and all of that, these are compact, they're small, and they get the job done. Pretty much those are the 4 palettes that I'm working with. Probably will add more to my collection, but I don't really need it. Also, in this little thing with my brushes, I bring my Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow pencils so you can see them, okay? Then also I have Q-tips. So that concludes what's in the second pouch. Then as an addition, I have colored pencils because I find when I really need to move quickly, pencils are the way for me to go, in addition to shadow, sure. But pencils, I can easily rub them on and smudge them out. I did have a photo shoot with my class with real models from agencies and stuff like that. So I am looking forward to those images and I will be happy to share them with you once I get them back. Definitely follow me on Instagram at Diva Does Makeup. Then I have my professional page that I'm usually just sticking to just work. It won't be talking about product or anything like that. And that's Diva Does Beauty. That is also on Instagram. That one is going to be used strictly to show you work that I've done. So you're not going to see me talking about products at Diva Does Beauty. You're not going to see me showing anything else. Primarily work that I have done. Diva Does Makeup, now you'd probably see other stuff like this and me talking about, oh, look at me, I'm at the class thing. These are my By Terry pencils. I love these. They're pricey, but they're worth it. They go on, they dry down, they stay, they don't crease. You can layer powders on top of them. I have a total of 6 of those. Then I also have all of the pencils from Charlotte Tilbury, the Color Chameleon pencils. I definitely love those, and I would say those are the two that I work with most. I also had a couple of Kiko Jumbo pencils in here, and I'm trying to think what else. And I bought lashes with me as well. But I didn't even use any of them at all for my editorial style shoot that I did, that I'm replenishing my portfolio. Another multi-purpose item that I walked with, which was very nice to have. Makeup Forever Flash Palette. Makeup Forever Flash Palette. There's so much things you can do with this. Matter of fact, in my color theory class, the instructor, Jessie Powers, she showed us how to make foundation straight from using these and mixing all kind of colors. So that's something that I will be practicing and working on, making foundations using the Flash palette. So I think pretty much that's it. That's all I bought. Oh, also I did bring a couple of cluster lashes before I forget. I had them in a Ziploc with the lashes. So the Kiss triples, I have a couple of those. I didn't use lashes again at this event. And then I have a palette, which I ended up not using because I'm so used to working from the back of my hand. That's how I am. I like to feel the product and let the warmth of my body heat the product up so it can smear or mix very easily. And pretty much that's it. That's all that I brought. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a tweet at Diva Does Makeup. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Snapchat. I'm not a big snapper, so to speak, but definitely you can send a tweet to me if you have any questions. I'm going to try to see how I can start doing YouTube live maybe, so we can have a interactive conversation in regards to topics regarding fashion, lifestyle, beauty, skincare, things like that. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Until the next video, take care and God bless. Bye.